Ooh, man, it is hot outside, but luckily the rain is coming down. This is COFOH Live Undead. I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and I am joined by the amazing Heather After. Wow!
You write something on my face.
Heather, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Dan.
Good. Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. Yeah, it's an honor to have you on and be able to talk about the art of cosplay. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you came from, and how you got into cosplay?
Sure. Well, let's see where I came from. So I'm a military brat. So I ended up going all over the place when I was younger. About every 2 years, we'd move somewhere different. And for a while, I lived on the island of Guam, and that kind of opened me up to Japanese animation, and I got really excited about that. And later on in my college years, I happened to be in the Atlanta area, and a friend of mine told me about Anime Weekend Atlanta, and said, "Hey, people like to go to this and dress up in costume." And I said, "Sold, I'm there." And that was how it all started.
Oh wow, that's cool. With that, was that something that you were just starting out making your costumes, or how did you put that together?
Well, I've always been kind of crafty and been sewing since a young age. But at first, my friend that kind of encouraged me to join her for the convention, she started by doing the majority of the seamstress kind of things, and I would do the majority of the crafting kind of things. And over time, just learned from each other and other people, and got more experience, leveled up at it.
Nice. That's cool. With that, like, you were doing some anime and stuff like that. What what was like a main source of inspiration, kind of going into that? Were you always drawn to like pop culture, comic books, and stuff?
Goodness, yeah, absolutely. I always loved the comic books. Grew up with those, like so many of us, and loved fantasy, pop culture. Watched the Batman stuff and Wonder Woman when I was younger. And, fell in love with Julie Newmar, and
Nice.
yeah. So
Well, I mean, that's really appropriate. You're here in a Catwoman outfit.
yeah. This is what I'm going to be wearing this weekend at Fan Expo on Saturday. And I was doing some testing today and figured since I already had the makeup on, I might as well do the rest of it for you guys. So here I am.
Oh, nice. Yeah, thanks for coming on and doing that. That's awesome. I love the red lenses. What is it? Is it a specific Catwoman, like a specific era or something?
Well, this is something that my friend Damian Seeley actually came up with. He's the mind behind the group that I'm going to be a part of on Saturday. We're all going to be Batman villains, and we're going to be, our costumes are based off of the Arkham series as well as Telltale. So it's kind of a neat, kind of cool mashup, hopefully.
Oh, that's awesome. What's the group? Is it like something like the the Star Wars 501 or something, or
It's just a group of friends that get together. It's actually
okay.
my first time joining them. I guess they've been doing this for a while, but they needed a Catwoman and put the word out, and I got chosen. So here I am.
Excellent. And this is a costume that you made yourself, or was it a collaboration?
Oh no, actually, this is so again, my friend Damien. He
Okay.
is the one who sponsored this one, and so this is something that he purchased, and then I did my own tailoring on it and did a couple of things to make it my own, but it's mostly a purchased costume.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Wait, yeah, doing that, do you find that you have to make a lot of modifications if you like, purchasing a costume that's partly made? I keep thinking of like something like thrift store DIY type stuff, kind of mix and match, to get your look and feel, don't.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's always a lot of, for me anyway, a lot of modification involved. I think I've got just a weird body type. Even if I, were to tell, people online my measurements, they would, it would come back, it would never be right. So it's just so much easier to do it myself.
Okay. Well, that's true. You know how what's comfortable and how you fit.
Absolutely. And if you've got the skills to do it, then why not? It works out better that way.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Looks like somebody chimed in. Hello, everybody. I think that might be Angela. It's not popping up on, on my side.
Oh, okay. Well, hello.
Yeah. So one thing I like about cosplay and costuming is it doing sewing pieces together, putting together headpieces and masks and everything. It's such an amazing art form and craft. My background, I've got a sculpting background academically. So, making props, making costumes for, thage productions and stuff, usually with big foam pieces and monster outfits and
That's
things.
fun.
Oh, it's absolutely fun. But I always appreciate, like, I see a lot of, cosplay, models and, costumers. I mean, they're usually one and the same, right? They're the same person. And doing this, and it's just absolutely breathtaking because it's so precise and so clean lines and really well thought out and well designed. When you're like sitting down, do you ever take something completely from scratch and just design it out and just build your costume?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've done that a number of times. Oh boy. And you'll have to excuse me. I've made over 250 costumes, so it's kind of hard to,
Wow.
go in the past and think of everything. But I know that there have been several, just probably a lot of little holiday costumes and other, fun things that I've done over the years. Renaissance fair costumes and what have you that I've done from scratch. And I have quite a big collection of patterns, and then I also have made several of my own as well.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm going to start, bringing up some photo references so folks at home are aware. But I'll bring this up one first. This is the closest thing I could think of Renaissance fair as a reference. But obviously, it's a witch. Is this a specific character? Because if so, I'm completely unfamiliar.
It is, yeah. There's a game called Dragon's Crown, and for those old school people like me who really like the side scrollers, this was kind of a throwback game to that era where it had the side scrolling characters, and she's a sorceress in that particular game. It's got beautiful artwork, and I actually did wear this to Renaissance Festival, once a while ago. I'd like to do it again, as a matter of fact.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, when you're doing that, like the Ren Fair, do you ever find that you're also building armor or anything like that?
I really haven't had a lot of experience building armor. I built some back in 2000 when I was the ninja Taki from Soul Calibur 2.
Okay.
And, so that was my first experience kind of building it. But frankly, I just used some foam and covered it with fabric. I just totally didn't know what I was doing, and they didn't have Warbler back then, so I didn't get to experiment with that. But I would like to one of these days. I've seen some beautiful things.
Nice. What was the material that you just mentioned? For building armor, not the fabric over foam, but what was the other one?
Oh, Warbler.
Oh, what is that? I'm not familiar.
I believe it's a thermoplastic. It's
Oh, okay.
So what people do is they'll kind of create the shapes out of foam, if I understand correctly, and then they'll cover them with the thermoplastic, and it kind of melts over it, and molds to the shape that you've created. So it
Nice.
kind of gives you an armor, and then you can paint it and carve into it and do all sorts of fun things.
Oh wow, that's really cool. Yeah, I think I have seen a little bit of that. Yeah, yeah, a lot of chess pieces, armor pieces, get made from that. I have also seen yeah, when it comes to something like Iron Man, lots of angles,
Absolutely.
like three-dimensional printouts, and
Yes.
sometimes as simple as like paper, right?
Yeah. Oh, and 3D printing is so cool. I'd love to get into that some more myself. I've purchased a Loki crown, on Etsy that was 3D printed though. Didn't have the best luck with that one. It was a little on the brittle side.
Okay.
But I've heard that if you get somebody who knows what they're doing, then you can get some really good stuff. So I should give it another
Nice.
one of these days.
Nice. Well, what a great excuse to like experiment too. Yeah. Do you just like spend times in the studios just kind of figure out different methods?
Different methods for.
Oh, for like headpieces or
Oh,
you know.
yeah, it's so gosh, I'm one of those people who's very thrifty. So I try to use what I have on hand a lot of the time. And so that's led to some interesting builds over the decades. And yeah, it's I like experimenting and trying new things. I call it cosplay engineering. And
Right.
it's a lot of problem solving, which is probably my favorite thing to do. I love just figuring things out like that.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. That oh, it looks like yep, yeah. For some reason, it's not showing up. Yep, this is Angela. Here she is on YouTube. She switched over to a different platform where she shows up. Yeah, hello. Yeah, super cool costume. And then Lavalley, yeah, love your witchy.
Thank
Uh,
you.
and yeah, Lavalley is also asking, how is that spelled? Warblat, the plastic material.
Oh, Warbla, Worlba, I believe.
Okay. Oh, Warbla. Okay.
Mhm.
Nice, nice. Um, yeah, you with so much to do with costuming and experimentation. I always love and this is I draw on this from my art background, just that experimentation with materials, finding those materials integrities, using stuff that probably wasn't designed for this application, but seeing what things can be utilized. Yeah, stuff in the studio, just experimenting, as long as I don't burn the house down, right?
Yes. Well, hopefully you've got a good track record. So far, mine's clean. So.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. So let's talk a little bit about horror cosplay. I brought up the witchy image, but of course this first one, Elvira, which is
Yes.
just a classic. How did you go about designing this display, this costume?
Oh boy, well that one that definitely took some engineering. I had to so in order to get the cleavage correct, I had to make sure that I had a lot of support in the right places, and so we've got a built-in bra in there, and I've also got some fishing line that is thankfully invisible to most cameras, holding things together just underneath the cleavage area. So.
Wow, that actually does sound like quite a bit of engineering. So for something like that, do you have to like custom, do wiring and everything to get that specific support?
I've seen some ladies do use wire in their dresses. I didn't go with wire. I just except for the underwire that was a part of the bra that I used. But yeah, but just used a bra, and then got creative with the fishing line and made sure that it was the the kind that could handle a good amount of force,
Okay.
just so that I wouldn't have any wardrobe malfunctions, because I was going to be wearing this to several charity events, and I certainly didn't
Oh, cool.
want to, make the wrong kind of spectacle of myself.
Right. Wow. What kind of can I ask? What charity event you would wear Elvira to?
Sure. It's actually some things around Halloween. Gosh, I think it was back in 2019 now. Like, it seems like it only just happened, but it's several years now because thanks
Yeah.
to the pandemic, everything got all screwed up in my head. But
Yeah.
yeah, so one was the Curtis Hotel had a fundraiser for the Tennyson Center for Children, and that's one that I showed up to, and I basically just posed in the lobby and took pictures with everybody, and they got to order some alcoholic drinks, which was fun. And then I also showed up at the pop culture classroom party as Elvira that year, and they do all sorts of wonderful things for children's literature and kind of integrating comics and other pop culture things into classrooms, which I love.
Oh, that's cool. I could kind of see, an image in my mind of you as Elvira reading to the kids. Did something like that occur?
Yeah, well, at the party there were some kids that showed up, although I don't think they had any idea who I was. But the adults
Right.
seemed to like me okay.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Elvira's kind of that Halloween pop culture staple. And then let's see here. Oh yeah, we've of course Morticia from the Addams Family.
Well, yes, love her.
Yeah, is this someone that you grew up with? What like the old Addams Family?
Absolutely, yes. She was just so lovely. And then when they rebooted it with the movies,
Right.
things they did change several things, but it's still awesome. And I am so excited for the new Wednesday show that's going to be on Netflix. Have you seen anything about that?
I've seen some promos. I think there's a quick little teaser trailer online that kind of indicates, Wednesday as the character and some still photos, but I don't think I've seen any more of the rest of the cast.
Yeah, well, I think Catherine Zeta-Jones is actually going to be Morticia, if I remember properly. So I'm excited about that because I love her.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, and then Tim Burton is kind of the guy behind it. So he's done some, very
Yeah.
oh very cool things, and I think that he could be a really good matchup for the Addams Family. I've got my fingers crossed.
Right. I totally agree. The Sonnenfeld feature films were absolutely spectacular. I think I was, just what was it? How old was I when that came out? Probably about like 14 or something when the first one came out. And
Hmm.
I absolutely love the the feel of it and the tone and yeah, it's very much that's a platform that's very much in Tim Burton's wheelhouse clearly.
Yeah.
Um, and it incidentally too in the new one, Christina Ricci, who was the original, well not the original, but from the feature films was
Yes.
Wednesday, and she'll be in there as a completely different character. I don't think she's part of the Adams family. So
Yeah, yeah. I heard something about that, but yeah, I was kind of eating up everything I could on it for a while, and then I decided, you know what, I think I want some surprises.
okay,
So,
yeah, right,
yeah,
yeah,
but it's exciting.
yeah. No, I think it'll be really sweet. Should be I think later on this year, maybe it comes
Yeah,
out.
I think around Halloween time,
Mm,
seems right.
good timing. That's the way to do it. Uh,
Yes, right
yeah,
about the time of Horror Fest, right?
yeah. Well, it'll be coming right after our event. So we're kind of a nice lead into Halloween. We're all the way in September, and to be fair, as with cosplay, Halloween is every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. It and there's always those lovely parallels between cosplay and Halloween. Being able to dress up as your favorite characters, or even an original character of your own, and go into these fun events and just it's got to feel really empowering and really just fun, just probably joyous, I imagine.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I'm naturally a very shy person, so
Okay.
I'm not the kind of person who really, would get up on stage and make a spectacle of myself. But for whatever reason, being in costume kind of gives you permission to do that, and so
Yeah.
it's really very, very liberating, I think.
Nice. Well, and especially if you're going to show up as Catwoman too, right?
That's right.
Yeah, just an absolutely fierce, character. And for somebody who has to deal with somebody as like mopey and grumpy as Batman, what a perfectly, awesome equal. She's incredibly independent, mischievous, and just an amazing ass kicker. So I always love the love-hate relationship between those two characters. And
Yeah, it's classic in a great way for sure. Yeah, I first got introduced to it with Julie Newmar and Adam West back on the old '66 Batman show, and I'll be honest, she's still my favorite Catwoman. I love some Julie Newmar, but there have been some amazing ones since then as well.
yeah, I'd have to ask, since you've got the costume on, what did you think of the new the Batman, or have you seen it?
I've seen it. To be honest, I saw it and I was a little tired, so I didn't make it through the entire movie.
It's a long movie.
I need to go see it again.
Yeah, well, it's on HBO Max. I think that's the beauty of the pandemic. Now things go to the theater for like a couple weeks and then they end up on streaming.
Yes, it's nice. Yeah, especially for those of us who don't always, like to go out and pay those theater prices all the time.
Right, right. They are pretty expensive. Yeah. LaValle is be afraid, be very afraid. I think talking about Elvira and stuff. And then Bats is grumpy. Bats is grumpy.
That's all right. You know how to handle him.
Yeah. Catwoman can handle him, no problem. It's the Robins that you gotta worry about because who knows? Yeah, but yeah, no, it's kind of looking at some of these because the Morticia photography that was done at a cemetery, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. What a great setting, for something like that. And I think, here's one of you as Wednesday, incidentally.
Uh-huh.
Also at the cemetery. Was that the same day?
Nope, it was a couple of years apart actually, and but I did go to the same cemetery, so it's just right down the road, and it's a beautiful one. It's a very nice place. I feel grateful that it's nearby.
Nice. Oh, that's pretty cool. So I'd imagine you have a number of friends that are photographers or people that you work with in photography. It's got to be a fun collaboration.
Well, to be honest, the majority of my photos nowadays I take myself. Like so let's see, the sorceress one that you showed earlier, that was taken by my friend Brian of Jizzled Light Photography, and I love working with him. He's always just incredible. But the other two that you showed, those were all me. I do my own photography a lot of the time. There just aren't that many people who I know that do the photography thing that are local, and so I just started figuring it out for myself, and worked at it. And
so fantastic. I guess I didn't really have an understanding that you were also your own photographer. How
cosplayers do everything.
Yeah, apparently so. Is that a common thing amongst cosplayers?
I think it's gotten more common since the pandemic started, actually. I began doing it several years ago because my poor husband, I kept on bugging him, and it would take several hours out of his day. So, even though he's a very good sport, it's not always easy to make our schedules line up. So I decided that I would go ahead and start using the tripod, and then you just put it in selfie mode and wave it yourself and then pose, and that's how I get my pictures. So
cool.
just did a lot of practicing and got little bit better at it with each each photo session, and I ended up doing a lot of them. And it's so nice because even though I love collaborating with people when I can, at the same time, if I just go, oh, I happen to have a couple of hours free this afternoon and I've got this costume I want to shoot, then, I can make that happen.
Oh man, do you find that you have to set up set up lighting, get everything right, and then take those test shots to see how you come across and adjust things accordingly?
Yes, a lot of the time I do, especially if it's indoors. If it's outdoors, I could usually tell pretty quickly now, if the lighting is going to work for me or not. And my favorite time to do the outdoor shoots is during the golden hour. And the golden hour for me is only before sunset because I don't get up early enough to do it right after sunrise. But, yeah, but I can, usually tell just based on, where the sun is in the sky, where I need to be standing in order to get, decent lighting. And that, just comes with a little bit of practice, I think. And although there are some times when I have to go out more so in the middle of the day, just because that's what scheduling allows. And in those cases, I find myself usually looking for some shady areas because a lot of the time when things get really sunny out, you can get some strange shadows going on. And
Right.
unfortunately, shadows are not always my friends when it comes to photography. So
Yeah. Well, you could just do what I do, and just have strong contrast, just to hide all my pock marks anyway.
I don't see any pock marks, so you're hiding it very well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to cast those shadows. But I don't think you need that. I think you're incredibly photogenic and
Oh.
stunning. In what you're doing and conveying. The another favorite of mine is the Jack Skellington one
Thank you.
with are those bunny ears then?
They are, yes, actually this was another costume that was sponsored.
Oh,
A
cool.
fan of mine who just goes by the Hawaiian. He asked me if I would consider doing some Nightmare Before Christmas cosplay, and so we kind of talked about it back and forth a bit. And I've always really liked Jack Skellington. I thought that he's such a great design, but at the same time, I don't really with my body type, I can't really pull off the, slender, tall Jack Skellington. I'm more short and curvy. So, so we decided that, it might be fun to do a bunny version of that. And so here it is. Just a little something, it's like Jack Skellington opened the Easter door instead of Christmas door or something.
Right, right. That would be pretty fun if they were to ever follow up and do a sequel, A Nightmare Before Easter.
That's right. Yes.
That would be hilarious. Looks like oh, I just got called out. Come on, man. Be afraid is Wednesday's signature line. Huh? You got me there. Completely. Well, I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. See, on here, you've got a group of people, doing all the research for you. So I appreciate it because I am lazy as hell.
Well, I'm so glad that the internet exists right now because even though I am up on a lot of things, sometimes I'll get thrown a curveball and go, wait a minute, I think that's a reference, but I have no idea where I've heard it before. So
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Angela chimed in. Such fantastic costumes. Do you have any cosplay picked out for COFOH, Colorado Festival of Horror? That'd be fun.
Yeah, well, I don't have anything picked out yet, if you will. I'm kind of thinking I might bring Elvira, and I usually like to do something new if I possibly can. So we'll have to give it a go. I honestly haven't gotten into the horror genre as much as some of the other cosplayers, so I'll have to up my game there a little bit, see what I can come up with.
Well, looking at some of these images, though, I'd say you've got quite a catalog. I love this other witch too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's Elvira as well, actually. She dressed up in that witch costume, or one very similar to it. Of course, I don't have her original costume, but I recreated it. And yeah, so she was on the cover of a comic book. And this past year, I was asked by Outworld Brewery to come and, kind of do a cosplay night where I would, kind of be available to help people with their costume plans for Halloween. And they kind of did a promo thing with the witch Elvira, because they know that I cosplay as Elvira. And as soon as I saw the witch costume, I said, "Ooh, that's a good idea." And I think I've got everything I've got to make that, or I need to make that. So I did.
Nice. That's so cool. Yeah, I should have figured out it was Elvira. The eyeliner, makeup coming at such strong points like that is very distinct for her. But yeah, obviously with the hair covered up, it's not as obvious.
Yeah, you've seen the big beehive.
Yeah, with wigs like that, do you find you have to do a lot of adjustment and manipulation with those?
Yeah, the Elvira one was especially interesting. So the first time I wore it, I made myself a little foam pillow, to put underneath it.
Oh, okay.
That worked out really well for the first little bit, but then as the day wore on, it got like shorter and shorter. It started compressing.
Oh, no.
Which is kind of a problem because I had an appearance the next day for that charity that I mentioned, the Tennyson Center.
Right.
And so I didn't really have a whole lot of time to, come up with, like redo the entire thing. So I got a stuffed bunny and I stuck it under my wig. So I had a little plush bunny sitting on top of my head, the entire time that I was at Elvira, during that event, and then the following evening as well for the pop culture, classroom event. So yeah, it was kind of funny. Nobody knew the bunny was well hidden. But.
That's pretty inventive. Those last second, fixes. Wow, a stuffed bunny.
Yeah, it's not something you would usually expect. Every Tuesday on my page, my Facebook page, I do a what I call Tip Tuesday, which is just a little tip or trick or tutorial even that I've just sharing what I've learned by making my own costumes, and even some tricks from others as well. And yeah, so and that was one of them. I talked about my secret bunny.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you doing cosplay and everything? Do you find that you've doing these appearances? Do you find that happens often, where something malfunctions and then you've got to think on your feet, for these quick fixes?
Thankfully, not too much anymore. I back in the day, when young costumer, I didn't have as much experience making things solid as I do now. And also, when you're working on a very limited budget, a lot of the time you tend to go for things that, might be a little on the cheap end, if you will. Mm-hmm. So, and, I still love it when I can be cost effective, obviously, but I also have got a little bit more of a balance now where I can, spend a little bit more money on things a lot of the time, which is really helpful. So, but something I always do make sure I do is take safety pins with me wherever I go, especially when I'm in costume. It's those little things are lifesavers.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. As a cosplayer and model and seamstress and fabricator, but also as a fan of pop culture, what characters would you really like to create your own take on that you haven't already?
My goodness. I'm not sure. That's a great question. Typically when it comes to creating characters, I tend just to, create my own. Something that, I guess some characters that I love putting my own spin on is our ancient deities. I'm kind of a nerd, and so I'm really into, ancient people, and I enjoy learning about ancient religions and that sort of thing. And every year I do a goddess costume. So yeah, I think I may have even sent you a some photos of one of them. It's the goddess Nyx, goddess of night, and yeah, so that's the one that I did most last year, I guess around right around Halloween, and and then this year my most recent goddess costume was Anya. She's a fairy goddess in Ireland, so
Oh,
that's
cool.
so yeah. When it comes to putting my own spin on characters, that's probably my favorite thing to do. Is just take the ancient beliefs and kind of these deities that are already somewhat established and just put my own spin on them and create something.
Wow, that's pretty neat. Do you, something like that? Obviously, they come from the mythology, and before that, the religion of ancient times and ancient peoples. Do you find that you have to sit there and kind of explain what the costume is, or is there kind
Um,
of like a universal entry point that
you
people
know, that's
get
part
them?
of the fun of it, actually, is kind of sharing what I've learned because, as I mentioned, I'm a nerd and I love learning about that kind of thing. And
Yeah,
so if I get to say, oh, here's this really cool character that I've just learned about and, didn't even know existed, but, this is their story and I get to share that with everybody. And so that's a lot of fun. Those are not usually costumes that I wear to a lot of events. Sometimes they're appropriate for things like Renaissance festivals or fairy festivals, that sort of thing. But
cool.
I find that for the most part, when it comes to going to events, like for Colorado Festival of Horror, I'll probably be wearing, horror type costumes. And then
Right.
obviously Fan Expo is more of a comic book, event. And here I am as Catwoman going to be wearing that. So
Nice. One thing that comes to mind when thinking of like horror events and pop culture is so many of like those slasher type characters. Your Jason Voorhees and your Freddy Kruegers and your Mike Myers, right? They're all just these loner male types. Yeah, I would wonder if you would ever consider putting your own twist on there because uh, there's not too many prominent slasher female characters that I can think of. And I think that would be an area to either take your own spin off of somebody like Jason, or just make your own original altogether.
yeah, absolutely. And I've seen some, amazing ladies who have done just that. I think there were even some statues that came out.
Oh,
Amico, does that sound right? Yeah,
we,
but there's some statues of a female Jason and a female Freddy
oh,
that
cool.
yeah, are actually really cool. Even a female Beetlejuice, I think. So I know that I've got several friends who have done some costumes based on those, which are really inspiring. So I
Yeah,
thought about doing the Jason one myself a while ago, and haven't done it yet, but we'll see. Maybe it'll happen.
I think that would be absolutely stellar. You know, and let's be fair. Jason doesn't have very good hygiene, so I think you could teach him something.
Oh, well, I kind of look at it as a an opportunity to let my own go a little bit.
Oh, excellent, excellent, nice. Go in the opposite direction. I love it. Um, yeah, it looks like Lavalley was saying cosplay as storytelling. Kind of an interesting convergence.
It's true.
Uh, and then she follows up Lilith as Dracula. She was awesomely deadly. I'm not familiar with Lilith Dot. Is it Lilith the
I'm not sure. Maybe one of Dracula's wives.
oh,
I'm sure myself, but I think that
okay.
may be it.
LaValle will follow up and let us know and probably correct us. Very good at the research. Lilith Marvel, his daughter. Okay,
Oh, okay.
okay, nice. Well, thank you for that.
Well,
Um,
maybe that's a costume idea for the Colorado Festival of Horror then.
yeah, most definitely. The you mentioned that you're going to the Denver Fan Expo this weekend as with a number of friends as Batman villains and stuff. is which do you prefer in terms of like events, like Renaissance festivals or these big pop culture Comic Cons? Is there a preference?
I like them all. It's oh boy, it's like trying to decide if you prefer cake or French fries. You
Oh,
want
interesting.
so
Sweet or savory?
yeah, exactly. So it's I this time of year I usually go to a lot more festivals.
Mhm.
Goodness, it's I've been to got just like 4 or 5 of them, just recently. Last weekend was the Unicorn Festival, and I
Nice.
got to be a fairy for that, so that was a lot of fun. And yeah, but I like all kinds of different events, and started out again doing the anime conventions, but that very quickly kind of bled into the comic book conventions, and then the Renaissance festivals came in, and I like doing it all.
Nice. That's cool. The with your charity work, showing up as these characters, doing these events, and helping to raise money for different causes. Like I know you're working with Cap for Kids, right?
Yep,
Uh,
done some work with them.
yeah. And what is? Can you explain to everybody what Cap for Kids does?
Yeah, so they're a wonderful organization. What they do is they raise money for families that have children suffering from pediatric cancer.
Mm.
And so every time they adopt a family, they raise a good deal of money to help them just, pay bills and survive, because there's just so much that they have to think about already. And, having just a little bit of relief financially makes such a huge difference. So I love working with them. It's such a worthy cause, and I'm glad that they're going to be at Fan Expo as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing them, and hopefully they do very well. I'm going to be donating myself. I hope that others will too.
Nice. Oh, that's fantastic. It's such a a worthy cause, and yeah, nowadays there's just so many causes out there.
Absolutely.
You know, uh, can I ask you what the next charity event you might be cosplaying at?
Oh goodness. Well, I've been I'm not sure,
Okay.
honestly. Yeah, I've got I've got a couple of charities that I work with on a regular basis, and
Mhm.
they basically just call me up when there's an event, and we work it out. But I've done things with the Ronald McDonald House. They're wonderful. Of course, I think most people are familiar with them. And then Realities for Children. They're an organization up in Fort Collins, and I
Mhm.
recently did a carnival with them, and they're
Cool.
wonderful. They deal with, or they help out children who have been abused and neglected, and just do whatever they can to enrich their lives, and make them happier. So that's something I'm always very happy to be a part of. And uh, gosh, and then as I mentioned, the Tennyson Center for Children, I did something with them before the pandemic. Hopefully they'll be in touch again. So yeah, but there's a few others, and I apologize. I kind of losing my but if I if they pop into my head, I'll definitely mention them, because they're all very worthy, very good causes.
Nice. Oh, that's fantastic that you're doing this. Yeah, I've seen you at a couple of events, a number of things that Tim puts together. Like Rocky Mountain Con, and I think what was the last one that I went to? Anime
Oh,
Fest.
let me hang out. Yes.
Yeah, Anime Hangout. That's right. That's right. Yeah, Anime Fest was your thing, when you got started, I think.
Yeah, that was the Anime Week in Atlanta, but there's an Anime Fest as well. There's so
Right.
much these days. Anytime you say anything, it's probably a thing.
Right, right. Well, and that's the beauty is right now so many people are looking to reconnect with their their groups, with their friends, with their peers. You coming out of hopefully coming out of the pandemic. Some days we're kind of it's like, oh, are we going back in? But and so many other uh, terrible and ridiculous things that we have to contend with. But yeah, I think you bring a little extra magic to the world, and and kind of enrich people's experiences. I'd imagine, especially kids. They're gonna love seeing you as Catwoman over the weekend. So, hopefully, hopefully you'll be able to take a lot of photos with a lot of kids.
I hope so. Yeah, well, it does the same for me. It's very enriching.
Oh, that's fantastic. Heather, we've got your Instagram scrolling at the bottom. Where else can people find you online?
Well, I'm probably most active on my Facebook page, and I'm Heather After Cosplay on there. But but when you go to look me up with the URL, it's just Heather Cosplay. So take out the after. And yeah, and then I'm also on DeviantArt, and that's and Patreon as well. I have a free Patreon, so I don't charge any money for it. It's just I just put my stuff up there for free, and trying to just cover all my bases, I guess.
Cool. Well, yeah, that's awesome. So, everybody that's watching, after this broadcast, make sure to go find her and be a fan of all her work and everything like that. We greatly appreciate having you on. Can you stay on for a few minutes after we sign off?
Sure.
Excellent. Thank you. And to everybody that tuned in, thanks so much for tuning in and supporting amazing artists like Heather here. It's always such a privilege, and art makes the world go around, even spooky stuff.
Agreed.
And of course, to our friends that sponsored us, Mutiny Information Cafe. If you're going to start a revolution, make sure you're caffeinated. And our friends at Hellfire Entertainment, thanks for rebroadcasting us on your social media pages, and Groovy TV. And of course, our hats go off to Bill and Angela with Alien Donut Films. Thanks for putting up with my butt. And of course, my producers, Stephen Santa Cruz and Amanda Armstrong. Thanks so much for all your help. And for everybody that tuned in, thanks so much, guys. Till next week, we'll see you then. And in the meantime, be good, be kind, help each other out during these tough times. And if you're going to go to the Fan Expo, have a great time and be safe. Look out for each other. And we'll see you soon. And Heather, we'll see you at Colorado Festival of Horror in September.
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Excellent.